Okay, Micah. So, it seems as though you were on the bottom for the whole game. No matter how many tribe swaps or twists there were, you were always outnumbered. Can you talk about what that does to your gameplay and just your overall mindset?
Yeah, so I mean, for me, obviously, like going into the game, I had all these, hopes and dreams of what it might look like and what position I could work myself into. And, when the game doesn't really coincide with those plans, it's hard. It's difficult. You have to be adaptable and malleable. And, that was a huge, learning thing for my game. So, always being on the bottom, I had to, be positive and persevering and learn how to deal with those types of, discouragements and losses. So it was super hard, but I'm very thankful, for the game that I had and the success I was able to find given all the lack of success, really. So, yeah, it was definitely a hard deck of cards to be dealt, but overall, I'm really pleased and proud.
I just talked to your buddy Jenna, and she says that she thinks Malolo was cursed. Do you think she's right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not superstitious and I don't read into a bunch of that stuff, but man, if I ever were, that would be the time to do it. I mean, I just couldn't catch a break. Our tribe, something about that color, something about that beach, just the survivor gods were not having it. So, yeah, luck was not in our favor for a lot of those things. And, not to blame, my game on that, but, yeah, it was definitely funny how things worked out. Just the whole theme of the season, and then our track record just as quite possibly the worst tribe in Survivor history. So yeah, that was not fun to be a part of.
Do you have nightmares of the color orange now, just because that was the Malolo color?
I do not. I have hopeful dreams of maybe another experience on the show where maybe I'm a different color and things work out a little bit differently.
We have a fan question from Allie in Washington. Idol successfully a couple episodes ago. How much searching did you do, if any, to find a new one at camp?
After I played the effing stick, you cut out for the first part of the question.
Yeah, after you used the idol, this is a fan question we have. How much searching did you do for another one?
Well, it depends. So after I played my first idol, I was immediately back out looking again, probably for the next 4 days. And I really tried to do it sly. Like, I wouldn't go out for an hour at a time. I'd go out for 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, and I'd chip away at all these different places on the island, knowing where I've checked and kind of like, just writing those off. So, whenever I'd go to the bathroom or, go to, wash my socks or whatever I was doing, I would always try and fit in a little bit of idle searching with those, just because, I felt like that was the safest time to do it, and the less of a target on my back when I did it. So definitely probably a couple, 2 or 3 hours over the course of those days. And then after the effing stick, I would do the exact same thing, going out looking. And obviously after the merge, it's a lot more noticeable when one person's gone, and people are always keeping eyes out. So that was difficult, but my strategy was just to chip away at it little by little until I was able to find something.
So at Tribal Council, when Jeff's reading the votes, and he reads 5 votes, and then he says one vote left, and then it comes out to 6 votes. What's going through your mind when that happened?
Well, of course, I knew immediately. It was an extra vote clearly, and Kellen had gone to go silent twice, so it added up pretty quickly. It definitely was a shocker to me because I fully believed Kellen when she told me that she hadn't come back with anything. So kudos to her for keeping that all under wraps. But obviously, I was curious which way it went, and fortunately, it was a tie. which we all know how that ended up working out. But it definitely made for good TV. It was great, chaos at the tribal, and a valiant effort on her part.
So you're a super fan of the show. You must have a regret that you didn't get to actually go to Ghost Island and see it up close and personal.
I like from a fan standpoint, you're damn right. I do. I really wish that I would have gotten to go out there and play the game, and had the full experience of this season's theme. But that being said, the idols that I found and the other experiences that I got to share, were everything and more that I needed. And the uncertainty of Ghost Island, the time away from camp is so crucial and invaluable. So, looking back, like I can't say that it hurt my game, the fact that I didn't go. I mean, if anything, it helped because I was always able to be there to keep eyes on people and to, pitch my case and this and that. Because, with Stephanie Johnson's vote, that was really what it came down to. If I went to Ghost Island, I fully believe that she would have been able to mesh in the group much like I did when she was gone, and there I would have gone. So it's a hard call whether or not it would have helped me.
So you're one of the youngest people to ever play the game. You were 18 years old. At what point did you decide you were going to lie about your age? Was it something, you planned in advance, you're not going to tell people you're 18? And why was that decision? Why did you decide not to tell people?
Yeah, you're damn right. I had chosen to do that way before, right when I had applied. I wanted that to be part of my story because, I'd grown up telling my mom, oh my gosh, I want to play the show when I'm old enough. And I truly never believed that I would actually get to play as young as I did. But, for my application, that was part of my, my deal. I wanted to go in. I wanted to, pretend to be older than I was. I wanted that to not even be a factor. And I said this a moment ago, but I didn't want age to be anything to do with someone's game and their success in it. I don't want to be, he played a great game for an 18-year-old. I think, that's wrong. I want to be, he played that great game and, and he's 18 too. Like, whatever. That's just who he is. So, I wanted to pluck that from the game right off the bat, and I think it was the right move with the group I was with. It was a young cast already, so it might have not even been that bad that I was young, but even being just kind of right in the mix, I think helps me out a lot more. So.
You had a couple of really, really good moves that I wanted to bring up when you used the idol correctly and negated all of those votes, which sent Libby home. That was really good. And also something earlier in the season when you found James's idol and then you lied about it and said it could be used, twice because James had two when he was voted out. Those both really stood out to me. Is there another move that you made that you want people to remember?
Yeah, I think obviously having those tools makes it a lot easier to make a good move. It gives you so much more power and flexibility, and obviously means to try and pull off a big blindside or whatever it is. So I'm proud of those two decisions I made. Of course, I wish that I had judged the reaction different on James's idol and, protected Brendan and actually blindsided Bradley, or not blindsided him, but voted him off. So it's, it's hard, it's a hard call, but, I think there were other things in my game that were much harder for me to pull off, because I didn't have an idol and I was fully relying on, my social game to get me through it, whether it was, the Des vote, because clearly I was a target, but having to kind of mediate, obviously let that all blow up and, almost be quiet at times or fuel the fire at times. Like it's all timing, to try and figure out how to keep myself in. And, in each vote, even before the merge, having to turn on Stephanie, having to turn on James, and really trying to, pitch myself and why I'm valuable and loyal and better to keep around than they are. I mean, that's hard, and that takes more skill than just pulling something out of your bag and handing it to Jeff. So I would definitely try and give a little bit of credit to some of those moves as well. But yeah, I mean, it's just how the game goes.
So final question, Michael. If you could play Survivor with anybody from the past, like a past contestant, that's one of your favorites, who would it be?
As an ally or an enemy? Or does it matter?
Ooh. How about one of each?
One of each, okay. Oh, man. I mean, I'd say Boston Rob as an ally, just because, he's amazing. He's an icon. He's one of the, players that developed this game into what it is, and I respect him in the way he played so much. So I'd say Boston Rob. As an enemy, I definitely wouldn't say Russell. I don't want to play against him. Oh, man. That's hard. Maybe Cass. I don't know. She was just so, crazy and all over the place and stirred up so much drama. I mean, I'm sure she would have drove me crazy too, but I loved watching her as a fan. And I think, she would definitely bring a lot to the season if I played with her.
Awesome. Well, thanks for chatting with us today. We'll see you in a couple weeks.